Hello, this is Lisa from Epic Yarn Jumps. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make these really cute doggy sweaters. Here's Diamond showing off his sweater. Emerald didn't like his as much, but we're going to get started with this. At first I'm going to show you how to do some measurements. Multi-poos and they weigh 7 and 9 pounds, so just keep that in mind as you're thinking about the size. So what you're going to do is you're going to do a couple measurements. The back measurement is from the base of their neck to right above their tail, maybe an inch or so above their tail, or however long you want the sweater to be. You want to take a measurement around their chest, around the largest part, and then the last measurement you want to take is around their neck. You don't want that measurement to be too tight, so make sure you leave a little give in the tape measure as you're measuring around the neck. We live in Michigan and it does get cold here, so I thought I would try this Red Heart Heat Wave brand. I have never used it before to see if it is a little warmer. The two colors that I used were blue, which is titled Ocean, and then like a maroon colored, which is titled Luggage. I have no idea what luggage has to do with a maroon color, but that is the color of the yarns that I used. I also used a 5.5 millimeter hook. So we're going to start this project with a slip knot, and from there we are going to do just a straight chain 10. This is going to be making the collar around the top of the sweater. You can make this bigger or smaller by increasing or decreasing the number of chains, but I did do a chain 10. And then I'm going to go into the second loop from the hook and do a half double crochet. Then I'm going to repeat that all the way down the chain. So I will be doing a total of 9 half double crochets. Once I get to the end, what we will be doing is a chain 1, and then we are going to turn our work. This is going to make that collar piece have a ribbing look to it. And like I said, it does give a little stretch so that you can get the sweater up over your dog's head. So these next stitches that I'm going to show you are going to be repeated over and over until you get to row 27. So you are going to do a half double crochet in the first stitch. So you're going to go under the V and you are going to do that first stitch as a half double crochet. And then for the next 7 stitches, you are going to go in the back loop only and do half double crochets in that back loop. And then the very last stitch, which would be your 9th stitch, you are going to do a half double crochet, but you are going to go under both of the loops here. So here we have, you can see there's one loop and there's that back loop, and we're going under both of them and doing a half double crochet. Then we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and we're going to do that over again. And you can see we're getting that ribbing. The measurement of the dog's neck was 10 inches. I add about 3 inches just to make sure that it has enough room to get up over their head when you're putting the sweater on them. Now that we have that completed, we need to join the two ends. So we're going to start with a chain 1, and we are going to bring together the two ends, making sure that the ends line up and match. You're going to go under that first V on the right hand side, and then you are going to go through the chain stitch on the left hand side and do just a slip stitch. You're going to want to make sure that these are lined up very well because it will give it a nice cleaner look and there won't be any little ridge there. So like I said, we're going to go under that V of one side, and then the other side was the chain. So we're going to go underneath that chain, and we're going to do that all the way to the very end. And when we get to the end, we are going to have a chain 1 before we start the body of the sweater. So we're going to work ourselves all the way down here. When I first started doing crochet again after I had not done it for many years, the dog sweaters were one of my very first projects. I did not write down the pattern. I don't know where I got the pattern, so I used this, or I used those as a starting point and then just added on to it to come up with these sweaters for the dog, which they actually do fit a little bit better than the ones that I made when I first started again. When I am starting from a band on a hat or whatever, I like to do one row of single crochet so I'm starting from a nice set foundation. So as you're going around, you are going to do single crochets all the way around the brim. You are going to have to put more than one crochet in each stitch, so just do your best to do them as evenly as possible. So to get the right starting width, which was 50 stitches here, I just, like I said, I did some that were a little closer together just to make sure that I had 50. And then once you're done, you are going to finish with a slip stitch join. I had to show on a different, on emerald sweater actually, how to do this next row because I did forget to show you how to do it. So after you do your slip stitch join and you're in row 2, you're going to do a chain 2, and then you are going to do a half double crochet in the first 4 stitches. This is an increase round. Like I said, this is emerald sweater so that I can show this because I did forget to tape it, so that's the reason why the colors are different. So after you do those first 4 half double crochets, in the 5th stitch you are going to do 2 half double crochets in there. And then that is the pattern that you're going to repeat all the way around in for row 2, and that will give you a total of 60 stitches, and then you'll do a slip stitch join. So for row 3, after you've done your slip stitch join, you're going to turn your work, and then you're going to do a chain 2. You are going to go after that into the stitch, not right next to where you did the chain, but the one after, and you are going to do a half double crochet into that stitch, and you are going to do that all the way around, and you will have a total of 60 stitches when you're done. This is a little different than what you would normally do with the chain 2 and then just keep going in the same direction. The reason that I did it this way is so that the seam would not be as noticeable, because sometimes when you're doing half double crochets your seam can go on an angle a little bit more, so that's why I did the turning rounds for this project. Next thing we're going to do is change our color. So on our last stitch, we're not going to finish it with the blue, but we're going to lay the maroon color over the top and finish that last stitch with the maroon being the color that you have added to the top. Then we're going to do a slip stitch join, and we're going to do that chain 2 like we did before, making sure all our ends are tight. And after our chain 2, we are going to turn our work, and we're going to do this for rows 4 and 5. I made this sweater for them with stripes. I just thought it'd be kind of cute, but if you don't want to do stripes, you can do whatever colors you want, but this tutorial will show you with the stripes. So you will be doing a whole another 2 rows with the maroon color, and then once you get done with those 2 rows, you're going to change your color back and you are going to do blue rows. So after you've changed your color, we are going to go on to row 6. This one's a little different than the other rows. So you're going to do your chain 2 and turn, and then in the next 2 stitches you are going to do a half double crochet in each of those stitches. The armholes for my dogs, I made the openings 10 stitches wide. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do a chain 10, and once we've finished our chain 10, we are going to skip the next 10 stitches. So this is going to be making the start of the armhole. So after you finish that, you're going to count over 10, making sure you get into that 11th, and then you are just going to do another half double crochet. For this size pattern, you'll be doing 36 half double crochets, and then to do the other armhole on the other side, you're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to do another chain 10, skip those 10 stitches, do half double crochets in the last 2 stitches, and then you're going to do a slip stitch join. Moving on to row 7, This is going to be the same as before with a chain 2 and turn. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put a half double crochet in each of the stitches. This includes, the chain stitches. There are different ways that you can put a stitch into a chain. The way that I did it for this project is I went under two of the strands of the chain, just to make it a little more stable, but you can do it any way you want. You can only go under one of the chain strands of yarn, or you can go through both, whatever works best for you. And you are going to do that all the way around. And now you've actually made the armhole. For my dogs, they don't like to have like a sleeve on their sweater, so when I make the armholes, I do not add sleeves to them because they just really don't like it. So we're going to finish up this row, like I said, with a slip stitch join, and then we are going to move on. We are going to change the colors one more time here, going back to the maroon, and then we are going to do the same that we have done with the other rows, which is this chain 2, turn your work, and do a row of half double crochets, finishing off with a slip stitch join. So you are going to do rows 8 and 9 in this maroon, and then you're going to go back to the blue. The pattern is the same as we just did for all the previous rows, and you're going to be switching your color every 2 rows. I went through row 15 here, and then you need to stop and you need to make an opening for where they're going to go to the bathroom. My dogs are male, so they do need a little space so that they can use the bathroom and not mess up their sweater. I like to start about 3 inches from the end of the sweater making the opening, just so that it does have a nice tapered look. So we're finishing up this last row, and we're going to be doing our slip stitch join. And then from here, what we're going to do is we change our color back, and we're going to do a chain 1. The stitch I'm going to do is a 2 together half double crochet. This is how I'm doing it for this pattern. It may not be the technical way, but this is how I'm doing it, just as an FYI. So we're going to yarn over, go into the stitch right next to where we did the chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, then we're going to go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up another loop. There's 4 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, pull through the first 2, and then yarn over and pull through the last 3. And then I am going to do 56 half double crochets all the way around. And then when there are 2 stitches left, we are going to do that 2 together half double crochet again. I'm going to slow this down to show you because this may not be the traditional way. So you yarn over, go under the V, pull up a loop. 3 loops on your hook, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up another loop. Yarn over, go through the first 2 loops, yarn over, and go through the last 3. And then in row 17, we're going to chain 2, turn our work, and we're going to do that 2 together half double crochet again. So yarning over, going through the first loop, going through the second loop, yarn over, pull up another loop, go through the first 2 loops, then go yarn over and go through the last 3. So you are going to do this all the way around, and not the 2 together half double crochets, but you're going to do half double crochets all the way around with 54 of those stitches, and then when you have 2 stitches left, you're going to do that 2 together again, and the total count for this row would be 56. Then what you're going to do is you're going to continue to rotate your colors every 2 rows until you get to the desired length. For diamond it was 12 inches, so we went out 12 inches. And the stitches that you're going to do for all the next rows are you're going to chain 2 and turn, and then do the 2 together half double crochet, and then you're going to do the half double crochets however many you need, and then you're going to finish off when those last 2 stitches are there with the 2 together half double crochet. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If so, please give it a thumbs up, leave me some comments. Also share the video so others can see this free pattern. If you have not subscribed to Epic Yarn Gems, please do so. Turn on notifications so you'll be notified when I post my next video. Peace, love, and happiness to you all.